Well, a lot of times when a lot of times parents in this day and age didn't have a good relationship with the school when they were coming up. So schools often can be offsetting the parents where they don't want to engage with what's going on because of experiences that they've had in the past. Sometimes schools aren't the most welcoming places for parents either. You know, a parent may want to come in and have a conversation and they're turned away, or they're saying, you know, come back at this time, or they make it extremely difficult. So I think that, you know, the first thing that schools should do is make school a more welcoming place. Now, I know some schools have family and community liaisons whose responsibility it is to engage parents and to work with parents and make a friendly, at least one space in the school where parents definitely feel welcome, where they can come in and find out more about the school. I think that, you know, where we have parent-teacher conferences need to be done at a time that's convenient for parents to actually come. And that you just need to basically work with communities and different community organizations, get them involved with the activities of the school. But we need to make schools more welcoming to parents.
I served as an assistant principal and principal before I had this job, and to reinforce what Julian's mentioning, so often as an assistant principal meeting with the parents of students who had gone on the wrong side, in many cases, before we could ever get to that issue, I did have to hear of the parents' negative experience in the school. So that's one thing we have to change. The other part is, I think, you know, if any of your parents get a call from the school, the first thing that goes into their mind is, uh-oh, what did my son or daughter do? And that's why we really need to change that attitude and that give that welcoming aspect of it to engage the parents as part of the process.
You know, I think we have to look at also, I mean, I agree with what both of you said, but other support structures for children. First, I think you have to work on the assumption that all parents love their children. But sometimes there's an awful lot that gets in the way. And we need to look at everything from prenatal care for children to early education and preschool activities and all types of activities that also include caregivers, other adults, and parents. We have a little bit of blaming going on, and it could be that school people are at fault with this as well, of, well, where were your parents for this activity, or what it might be. Well, it also assumes parents in the plural, which is not the way the majority of children grow up in the country. And it assumes that, as you mentioned, the time of various things, that people can just leave their work and come to school and so forth. We can learn a little bit internationally with that, the way there are laws in various countries that parents can leave their work site to attend conferences and go to the schools and so forth. So there's a lot we can do, because we have to be in a situation where young people, if they don't have the support of family and parents, they won't be crippled through the schooling experience.
Hello, my name is Elliot Stone, and this is probably end up being a two-part question, but I grew up in Mexico City, and something that I've gotten to see over the years, and I've also been to Europe a couple times, and something that I've gotten to see is that at the high school levels in Mexico and Europe, high school students come out a lot more prepared from high school than they do in the U.S. I guess what I'm saying is, A, is this something that is true, or it's just something that, I mean, I'm seeing from my point of view? And if it is true, B, why is it that? Why is it like that? Because it's obviously not the funding. Funding in Mexico for schools is ridiculously low. And I have several friends who've left high schools in Mexico and come to study college at the U.S. because at the college level, it is way better than in Mexico. So I mean, where is that divide and why does it happen?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, Elliot, I'm not sure, and we talked about this before, that there is a seat in a classroom for every child to go to high school in Mexico.
Right.
So that's a very, very important thing with this. If you have a situation that works as a pyramid and fewer students can go to school and get educated, those that are left probably are leaving with a great many skills. So I think to make that kind of comparison, that data is exceptionally important. And this is true around the world. That's a big difference with the U.S. education system. The idea here is not to let students drop out, to keep them in school, to keep educating them. We are generally, as a country, are against sorting. We're into, people are equal and everybody ought to get a shot at it. Well, I think that you probably know that from growing up in Mexico. That wasn't the case, and it isn't the case in a lot of countries in the world. So I think that's a major difference, and it's a very important difference that this is a country built on the common school. Not just the rich, not just aristocrats, not just royalty gets to go to school. Everybody gets to go to school. Everybody gets that opportunity, and beyond that, we do things to keep young people in school and keep them going. That's why there aren't, for the public system, all kinds of tuition charges and so forth. So I'd say that's a huge, huge difference.
And I can say that worldwide there was something that was developed by the multinationals like UN, UNESCO, UNICEF, and these were called the Millennium Goals. And a lot of those had to do with the quality of life and to alleviate poverty by 2015. One of those was universal primary education for all, because that was not happening around the world. We in this country kind of have assumed that for a long time. It's one of the privileges that we have. The other thing that I noticed is that, and the second one on that was also the increase the number of girls to school. It's almost opposite of the problem that we have in America, where the highest dropout are with our male population. But around the world, the number of women who have access to high school education or even primary education is extremely low. And so those are worldwide issues that are somewhat different than ours. The other thing that I would say about this elite and education for the masses is that our country was founded with education for the elite in the beginning of our country. And as we grew in our democratic ideals, one of the things that we first had were the common school and education for the masses in elementary and secondary. As we became more industrialized and more of a high-tech society, we realized that universal education for higher education was also there. And that really came at a time now where you have universities and colleges and junior colleges and tech schools, all kinds of things that are available to people for even post-secondary education. So again, we have education for the masters at that level. That makes us very unique in the world, and it's what keeps our competitive nature and our economy going on, is we have a more educated workforce than many places. That's your time.
Hi, my name is Tomas Navia, and I'm a sophomore at University School. Today at this City Club of Cleveland Youth Forum, we've listened to a panel discuss education reform. Before you go, we would like to ask you to fill out the surveys on your tables and return them at the door. Thank you to our distinguished panelists, thank you to our moderator, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This forum is now adjourned.